Let's talk about pyramids. Not that kind of pyramid, the inverted pyramid. In journalism, the inverted pyramid is the name given to a way to organize a news story. Its goal is to get the biggest, broadest, most important information across first. We do that because we assume that many readers, or viewers, will start at the beginning but not go all the way through a story. So we push the less important details down the story and the more important details up the story, toward the top. A critical element of writing with the inverted pyramid is starting by thinking through what information is most and least important, and then ordering them from most to least. It's wise to always write at least a simple outline and in the order that starts with the biggest points, then works its way down to smaller and smaller details. Here's a little note about the details. In most stories, writers will learn that some details that they or their editors decide aren't significant enough to include in the story at all. A classic approach to figuring out what to include in a news story is the 5 W's and H. I have a separate video on that, and so I won't go into details here. But asking the who, what, when, where, why, and how questions about a story is a good way to start covering all the bases. Once you have the answers to those questions, you can begin prioritizing and organizing. Okay, let's look at an example. You hear that a wealthy alumna of the school who loves tennis has donated a big chunk of money to the school to upgrade its old tennis courts. You do some research and interviewing, and you find a lot of information. I'm just going to put it all on screen, and then you can pause and read it now. Okay, that's a lot of information. You've covered the 5 W's pretty well, so how will you organize it into a story? The inverted pyramid structure says you should figure out what is most important to the story first. Various factors at different schools might shift different priorities, but here's one approach. The heart of the story is that the school's old courts are getting rebuilt and upgraded, and it's all being paid for by a donation from an alum of the school. That's the main thing your audience needs to know. If they read nothing else, they know the essence of the story. If they continue reading, what's the next most important thing to know? How about noting the alum's name, the amount of the donation, and that the donation will completely cover the cost of the upgrades? Then you might add that the construction will start in June and be done in September, and you'll work in good direct quotes anywhere you can where they'll add to the story. Depending on how long your story is supposed to be, which you should probably have discussed with your editor, you can choose what else to include. Some things you might include for a 600-word story, you won't include in a 300-word story. Whatever the size of the story, using the inverted pyramid means you'll start with the most important info, push the smaller details down the story, and you'll probably be cutting some details out completely. By using the inverted pyramid, you can get the key information to your audience efficiently.